If you're in the business of construction, environmental cleanup or remediation, or certain types of maintenance work, and you want to work under contract with the U.S. military, there's a good chance you've come across the topic of EM 385 1-1 or EM 385 1-1 training. If you've never seen this term before, don't worry. In this video, we're going to cover essentials about EM 385 1-1, what it is, what it's for, who uses it, who needs training on it, and how much training is needed for employees, supervisors, and managers, and those with overall responsibility for site compliance, including Site Safety and Health Officers, or SSHOs. But hey, the first things first. EM stands for Engineer's Manual. EM 385 1-1 is a manual of health and safety requirements implemented by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, or USACE. If you want to work as a contractor for the U.S. military on projects supervised by USACE, you will probably need some training on the EM 385 1-1 safety and health requirements. The Army Corps of Engineers oversees three main types of projects: construction projects on military sites, certain environmental remediation, hazardous substance cleanup projects, and the maintenance or servicing of military equipment. So that's where these rules apply. Now let's talk about what's actually in the EM 385 1-1 manual. EM 385 1-1 is an all-encompassing health and safety rulebook for work on these types of projects. It incorporates many existing safety and health regulations, including OSHA standards for the construction industry and general industry workplaces, as well as standards from federal law and industry consensus standards. Health and safety topics covered will likely sound familiar to you. They include fall protection, scaffolding, operating machinery, chemical safety and hazard communication, electrical work, excavation, work in confined spaces, control of hazardous energy or lockout-tagout, and much, much more. And while this manual does incorporate and reference existing rules in these areas, like the OSHA standards, it also contains requirements that are unique to military installations and sites under the supervision of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Those additional unique requirements can go above and beyond what's required by OSHA or other authorities. That's why training specific to EM 385 1-1 is a requirement for anyone working on sites subject to these USACE rules. There are three levels of training for contractors and employees working on sites subject to the EM 385 1-1 requirements. How many hours of training is required varies depending on an individual contractor or employee's level of responsibility on site. The minimum amount of training on EM 385 1-1 topics needed for an employee starting work at a military contract worksite supervised by USACE is 16 hours. This 16-hour training is required for general laborers and other non-supervisor personnel. Supervisors, managers, project managers, foremen, superintendents, safety officers, and others with a higher level of responsibility for employee health and safety and overall site compliance require more hours of training. 24 hours of training is required for managers, supervisors, and team leads on these sites who oversee other employees. And 40 hours of training is for those with overall responsibility for the health and safety of workers on site and for compliance with EM 385 1-1 standards and all other applicable standards. This includes the Site Safety and Health Officer, or SSHO, site foreman, superintendent, project managers, and others. In addition to 40 hours of initial training, Site Safety and Health Officers are required to complete 8 hours of refresher training annually to maintain their certification. Training on EM 385 1-1 requirements is not the only training needed to work on these sites. Additional training would be needed to familiarize employees with site-specific hazards, equipment, procedures, emergency plans, and more. Any training needed beyond basic EM 385 1-1 requirements for an employee should be determined by the Site Safety and Health Officer, the employer, or both. Those are the broad strokes of what's required as far as training on the EM 385 1-1 requirements for individuals or employers who work or hope to work under contract for the U.S. military performing construction, environmental cleanup, or certain types of maintenance work. Lion Technology offers online training on the EM 385 1-1 standards, a 16-hour course for general site employees, a 24-hour course for managers and supervisors, and a comprehensive 40-hour course for those with overall responsibility, including Site Safety and Health Officers, or SSHOs. Plus, there is an 8-hour refresher online course for those in need of annual refresher training or refresher training at any time. Lion makes it easy to access your training from anywhere, to pause and resume the course when you need to, and to get support when you need it. For more information about training on EM 385 1-1, including a free cheat sheet that outlines these training requirements in a concise way, visit lion.com/EM385 today. Thanks for checking out this video. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel for updates on hazardous materials, environmental and workplace safety regulations, and we hope to see you again soon at lion.com.